good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago again. As we continue this morning's conversation, I have the privilege of sitting in studio with Assemblyman Terance Baynes, who is also the representative for Bethel New Grange. And we're talking about back to school, back to school. The kids are heading back to school, and we are heading back to work again. So the children are going back to school, and you have decided to have a back to school fair. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, and good morning to you and good morning to all the viewers of Tobago Updates fan-wide. There are some things that area representatives do that may be deemed traditional by some, but because of the present situation, some of these things have become absolutely necessary to do to try and bring some ease and support to some of the families that have challenges with getting their children ready for the back to school experience. So despite all the issues with resource and that kind of thing, we still felt that we have to do something in our capacity to assist, and that is what is behind this affair.
Right, and so when is this back to school
fair
happening?
Right, it happens this Thursday at between the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 at the Montgomery Recreation Ground, and we are specifically targeting, of course, the district of Bethel New Grange, and hopefully, the children. We have asked for a registration, obviously, because we could only cater for a certain amount of people, and we hope that they take advantage of the opportunity.
Okay, so how can persons get registered? Is it that they contact your office, the office of the area representative?
Yes.
Tell us how we can do that.
So,
I see that there's a number on the flyer.
Right. So there is a number for the office, which is 660-4794. 660-4794. This is for you to register the children between the ages of 5 and 12. What we are doing is we have a nice kind of knapsack thingy that we're doing and put some of the stationery inside of there that we give to the kids on that day. Also on the flyer, you will see that we are collaborating with Extra Touch International. They provide spa services and they do hair stuff and all of that. So they have decided to move their operations on that day to the site where we're doing this, and they're going to be working and they're going to be doing some hairs, plaiting some cornrows, I believe, for some of the young ladies that are going back and so on. But you have to call them, because of course I didn't know all the dynamics of plaiting hair and all this kind of stuff. When they told me how many heads they can attend to within a particular time frame, because we are there from 3 to 6. So I'm thinking, they're gonna be plaiting hairs like if it's a processing line. But I am told that to do the one, they told me that if you want the hairdo to last for the girls, you have to have some kind of cornrow kind of thing, and that takes 45 minutes to an hour. So it means that there's a limited amount that they can do on the day. So they have asked that the parents that want to have this service for their girls, that you must call and make the appointment, and that number is 650-3342. 750 3342. 750-3342. That is if you want to have your daughter's hair braided or combed. Somebody asked me yesterday, what about the boys? You understand? Because boys plait their hair now and that kind of thing, and there was no consideration, unfortunately, from talking with them, to do boys' hair, but just the girls. And they asked specifically that I say that the parents that are bringing their girls, they must wash their hair before they come, because we don't have the facilities to provide that kind of service, So we hoping that this could bring some kind of ease.
So you are catering specifically for the persons who have registered by means of reaching out to you or reaching out to your office, the office of the representative for Bethel New
Right.
Grange, and they can register their
Right.
kids for
Right.
Thursday, that is
Yes.
Thursday,
Yes.
at from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Montgomery
Recreational
grounds.
ground. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And how do you ensure that the persons who are registered are indeed from the district?
Well, I mean, those are questions that would be asked at the office and that kind of thing. I mean, you can't, it's not a foolproof plan, really. You know,
Right.
you just depend on people's honesty and thing, because you can't know everybody that lives in the district. But we want to do that because we know, you know, you have a responsibility to the district. I am not hard and fast, really. You know, we want to see as many persons that can be helped. You understand? So but we don't want people in the district to say or that they did not have an opportunity. You understand? So apart from these things that I'm doing in the media space, we have a public address system going around the district to reinforce the information and so on. And it's important for persons to take advantage of the opportunity as long as they can. And to clarify again, remember that if you have your children must be between the ages of 5 to 12. That is for the little bag we're gonna give with all the you know the little the necessaries inside of there. But as it relates specifically to the hair plaiting and all that, you have to also register. And there are two separate numbers for the two, so we don't want to confuse those two things.
All
Yes.
right, excellent. And have you partnered with any other assemblymen who may want to do something similar, or who may have been able to combine resources and make it even twice as big? For
Well,
instance, you have a area representative very close by
yeah.
in
Well, the
Mr.
truth
Sonny
is,
Craig.
the truth is, all of us are strapped for resources. There are some other area representatives that have done that before, and I believe are doing that. And this really was a kind of, shall I say, a last minute thing, because of the support that Extra Touch came to the fore. You would remember Extra Touch does these things for children and so on. At a certain time of year. But it's time that they were going to do this thing. We had the last hurricane, so they canceled the thing. So they had some stuff, and they said, well, maybe we can partner with you and make these things available to the children. So that is the first. But your point taken. There is power in us kind of pooling and collaborating. But because it was not something that was initially in my plan, and I didn't have the capacity, I think that is the reason for that. But I know I have seen advertisements that other Arabs are doing some things similar.
Right. And I mean, yes, you are here on Tobago Updates, and there is that public information system going around, but persons tend to say, well, I was in work while the announcements were happening. I did not get the information. Are there individuals from your office that are actively walking through the community?
No. Well, we don't have that latitude, of course, because of the office staff that we work with, and we are hoping that this medium will compensate, because of course television, you can see that at different times. We are hopeful that this medium will compensate for those dropout areas in terms of the communication that people may not get from the public address system and that kind of. I'm hopeful.
Right. I mean, but regardless of what, like the flyers, they still work.
Yes.
Sticking them up at those parlors, at those shops in the village, those things.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, there is deficiency, I will confess, in the PR platform, because of course it was not something that was planned a long time ago. It just came up as a result of that situation that didn't really come through with the other organization, and they decided that they will assist, and I said, if they are willing to make that kind of donation to us, then the least I could do is try and find some way. This thing is something that I have to fund myself. But I feel it is necessary, and the fact that they have made that kind of commitment, then, as a area rep, you do your best, you do what you can.
Yeah. And the reason why I ask this is because a lot of the times you have activities happening in the communities, but the person's not feeling, connected because they don't have the information.
I agree.
Let's say, for instance, they might see something happening on Facebook and they say, well, I did not even know that was happening in my community or in my area.
I agree.
So it is imperative to try to maximize all the channels of communication with the public.
Agreed.
Is there anything that you want to ensure that the public knows about this event before we wrap up our discussion this morning?
Well, just to say, we know back to school and preparing, some parents have 2, 3, sometimes 4 children, and there are always challenges. Some people are not as well off as others, and so on. And so this is where area representatives and other stakeholders in the various communities can lend some kind of support. There is so much challenges, other social issues that we are trying to contend with. We have to contend with crime and security and those kinds of things. So we have to do our best incrementally to see what we can do to ease the situation for the communities that we dwell in. And so I think, and I encourage and applaud all the other area reps that are doing things like this, and the other stakeholders, as a matter of fact, that are doing things to try and make it a little easier for parents who are trying to parent the children that they have, because we know that how you parent a child has an impact on who the child turns out to be.
And even within your district, there is a group of young men. I think they go by Finishers Plus. They own that Watergate playway booth down there, and I know that they usually do a back to school drive. I actually saw a flyer from them. I think it might be worthwhile to reach out to them.
I didn't see it myself
and collaborate with them, because the more hands on deck to
certainly
make this
even
bigger and reach even more kids to be able to facilitate more families.
Certainly.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we want to thank you so much for coming on this morning, and thank you so much for your back to school fair and the initiative to give back to your community. If you do want to benefit from this fair, as indicated previously, you can reach out to the office of the Assemblyman Terance Baynes, who is also the representative for Bethel New Grange. Reach out if you know anyone who might be interested, who lives within the district or at least very nearby. Let them know that this is happening on Thursday between the hours of 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And if you do have a situation where you need assistance in getting the young ladies prepared by means of grooming and getting their hair combed, then that service would be available as well. But that is something that you have to call and book an appointment for. And the number is there on the flyer for you to see, and that number again, I believe it's 75.
Yes, 753. I'm sorry, 750-3342. That's for the hair. That was the phrase I was looking for all the time. Grooming was the phrase I was looking for.
Right.
Yes, 750-3342. And then, of course, for the general registration for the children between 5 and 12 is 660-4794, 660-4794. You could even call my contact as well, and that's 685-1988, 685-1988, and we will do our best to assist in whatever way we can.
All right. Thank you again so much, Assemblyman Terance Baynes, for that. And we want you guys to get engaged. And even if you have been collecting back to school items to do a distribution of your own, collaborations are welcome. The more we will be able to facilitate even more families, even more students by collaborating. So you can reach out to his office, let them know that you have been indeed collecting school supplies to give out, and you would have no problem in joining them on Thursday to do that distribution, right? Again, we want to thank you so much for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. And thank you for all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. And as I usually say, I am Shenell Felix. And if you want to follow what's happening behind the scenes, you can follow me on all social media platforms, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, and see all that's happening. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Tobago Updates.